It's very nice to be thought of as being pretty, as being, it's a plus. It's nice. It's not terribly important, but it is nice to have it in your favor.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here, and I really appreciate your time. I'm going to be jumping on here quickly to give my commentary on this whole situation going on with Keita Rose and the entire crew of the Tonight's Conversation podcast. And listen, I don't have too much to say, and I'm gonna try to keep my portion of the video, my commentary, pretty short because, like I said, I don't really have too much to say about it that's not have already been said. And when you watch the clips, you'll see a lot of the things that Keita is talking about is kind of self-explanatory. So I'm gonna play the clips and then come back with the rest of my commentary.
Hello, and thank you for watching part 2 of Who the Fuck Did I Work For? I just want to address a few things that have been really pissing me off. Number one, I'm not one of those friends that fall out with a friend and tell their business. These hoes actually never liked me at all. This isn't a hurt people situation. This is a you fucked around and now you're gonna find out. A lot of you are saying, this seems a little one-sided, Keita. Right, because I'm the only one talking. So, since your faves get paid to speak on a daily basis, they should have no problem speaking out. Before it was Tonight's Conversation, live and uncut, it was Tonight's Conversation, Love, Sex, and Relationships, the tour. I had never been on tour before. I was content creating and working HR at Kraft Macaroni and Cheese. I was HR there. By the way, since we're doing this, y'all probably shouldn't be eating that shit either, but if they sue me, they're gonna take my son, so I best be shutting that ass up. But I got to meet some really great people. I met the very talented Jay Martinez, the very funny TC Caldwell, the really beautiful and talented K-Love the poet, and Joe! Look how happy I am. Stupid girl. This healed, emotionally mature, ready for marriage man. Honestly, this show was a vibe. It was a vibe. It was intimate. It was positive. I had millions of followers. TC had millions of followers, but he lost his page. And when he lost his page, Mojo Jojo said, "You're no longer valuable. Goodbye." This is my best friend, and the reason why I'm in this fucking predicament, she was following Mojo Jojo and couldn't believe he picked me to be on tour. So when Mojo Jojo hired me, he said that we were going to make a lot of money because he had done a lot of shows. This wasn't his first show. This was my first tour, but not his. He used to be on tour with, who's that? Apparently it started out a card game, but then they moved it to making content and then moved it on the road. I don't know. So one of the products sold on tour that made the tour and made him so lucrative is his card game. But word on the curb, allegedly is, this was not his idea. A little birdie told me that the card game was his idea, but he just didn't know how to market it right. Good thing Mojo Jojo is a master marketer. Ooh. Unfortunately, this is going to be the end of part 2. But don't worry, we're going to give you a sneak peek of what's to come in part 3.
That's what I'm telling you. Wait, so y'all men really don't like getting y'all asses ate? No. Man, for what? Y'all better be glad I don't know how shit. Because I put these niggas after I be licking ass. I like for men to pee on me. Okay? In all true honesty, it's something about that stream hitting that...
Hello, governor, and thank you for watching episode 3 of Who the Fuck Did I Work For? I know a lot of you don't like my delivery. I got this message today. When you do your next story time, could you do it less animated? It's taken away from your story time. No. And let me tell you why. No hate to you, because a lot of people have said that, right? They don't like my delivery, my antics, the animation. It's less believable. I don't give a shit what you believe. That's the truth. I'm telling you how I tell it. And I'm an animated person, so regardless of what I deliver, good news or bad news, it's gonna come out animated, you bland, boring bitches. Anyway, where did we leave off?
Y'all like getting y'all asses ate? No. Man, for what? Y'all better be glad I don't know how shit. Because I put these niggas...
You guys were mad about that one. You guys acted like I made that video. First of all, I just like to address a couple things. One, I'm not kink shaming anybody. If you want to get pissed on, you want to get pissed on. I don't. I'm not judging you. We listen and we don't judge. You're mad at me because your favorite coach, life coach, likes to get pissed on. What did I do? A lot of you said, well, if that's her husband, it is what it is. But that wasn't her husband in the video. So. Number 3, this isn't about booty eating, grocery shopping, or anything of the sort. This was to show you how she speaks around people that she's comfortable with. So when you guys said I was bullying her, right, when she got on TikTok crying, y'all were like, oh, you're going too hard. No, she talked like that. She talked like nigga, bitch. That's how she talked. It's just that, not on stage. So I wasn't bullying anybody, but I bet a bitch won't try to bully me. But I bet I bet won't try to bully me. So the guy in the video was not her husband, right? And so he was just somebody that she was doing business with. Now this guy, a lot of you have seen his video. He dated her. I'm not sure what happened, but she sent him a very long apology via email, which is, oh my God, like, is he a colleague or a nigga you messing with? I ain't gonna hold you. I didn't read that email. And once I see that your text is this long, you lost me. Now, I don't know why her and the guy you just seen broke up, but I do know that he stated she threw a lot of insults. She was very violent, very angry, and she sent this and another 4 or 5 emails. Like I told you, you guys can pause it. I ain't reading it. Now, a lot of women in the comments were like, well, she's apologizing. Yeah, but what he's trying to convey is with narcissistic women, they will do something terrible and then apologize, and then do something terrible and then apologize. The apology is more to get you back so they can have more of their supply, not that they actually mean it, because if they meant it, they would stop. Now, upon this guy coming out, there's another guy that came out saying that she shot him with his own gun. Shot at him or shot him? Listen here.
Damn near exactly what happened with me and her when I dated her. She saw that I had did some shit in my phone. We started fighting. Well, we didn't even start fighting. She started hitting me. I was 200 pounds, like 250 at the time, 6 feet tall. She's 5'3", 150 pounds soaking wet. I'm like, I can't hit you, so I'm trying to get out the way. She get in the car, keep hitting me, destroys my car, and then shoots at me with my own gun 3 times.
Mile. And pop goes the bad bitch. Good morning, good afternoon, or good night, depending on where you are from. Thank you for watching episode 4, season 1 of Who the Fuck Did I Work For? A lot of you don't like that there be smoke in my videos, but I'm unemployed. To everybody that has reached out to me, asked me if my mental is okay, asked me if I'm good, I really do appreciate you. I seen some comments saying she's playing the victim. She acts like a victim. I'm not a victim. I don't even want to call myself a victim. I trusted a man with taco meat on his face. That man has a taco meat beard. That is the makings of a shiesty fella. Ladies, if your boyfriend has taco meat on his face, he's going to mess you up. Listen to me. I can speak from experience. And that reminds me, a lot of you were saying, well, I wouldn't listen to such and such, or I wouldn't listen to such and such. Listen, it didn't start off a panel. It was first a conversation. So season 1 was me, Rico, Mojo, Jojo. Y'all, let's take a poll, guys. Do you like Mojo, Jojo? Or do you like taco meat beard man? So I know I mentioned in my story on Instagram that he used to say things like, you're not going to be aesthetically pleasing, or are you working on your weight, Keita? And that this is what I look like when I met him. But who was ugly? Also, taco meat on your face. Now, Rico was the first villain. He came in to not only be a part of the podcast, but help direct the podcast. So one day we were shooting, and I guess we all found out that Rico didn't appreciate being talked to a certain way, and also just it was bad. It was explosive. Now, Mojo Jojo said in one of his lives that I think he had hired 100 cast members. There's been so many cast members in and out of his house. That was the guest cast. That wasn't core cast. Core cast stayed the same every freaking day. So we're sitting in his basement and we're all having a conversation about I just don't know what. But Mojo Jojo and Rico get into it back and forth and back and forth. Rico doesn't like how he's being spoken to, so he says something along the lines of, "Shut up, I'll beat your ass in your own house." Something like that. I don't know. Allegedly, it's not verbatim. And then Mojo Jojo said, "Use your words." At that moment, I was so excited. I was like, "Oh my gosh. Hit him." Hit him. But he didn't. He acted very professionally. We didn't see Rico again. And I think that's when we saw him, I guess, one or two straggling shows, but Rico didn't need the money. So we didn't see Rico again. But I think that's when I found out that when you do stand up for yourself, I mean, he didn't have to say. But when you do challenge him, you're going to get fired. It's going to be your last day, bud. And sure, I could have quit at that moment. I could have said, "Oh, you can't challenge him. If you challenge him, it's going to be a problem." But I did not, because I enjoyed the people that I worked with. I was making good money. And I didn't want to quit my job. Would you quit your job if you found out that your boss was a... You know, what's crazy is along the years, a lot of people have been using words like narcissist and diagnosing everyone around them. But when you actually see a narcissist, do you know what to look for? A lot of you think that I am bullying our friend Kit Kat, but I'm not. I truly believe she's a female narcissist. And no, I'm not a doctor. But I think when you blindly believe and follow whoever, including myself, you don't do victims justice. People that didn't deserve whatever happened to them. So please think about that, because these men, and there are a lot of men. Oh, there's so many. It's raining men. So a gentleman reached out and said that he dated Kitty, the, relationship expert. So I'm sure the relationship was healthy and loving and progressive. Well, he said that he was cheating on her, right? Which no woman wants. So I want to be fair and tell all the facts. But the woman just reached out, I guess the girl that he cheated with, and it says Kitty did try to kill him that night. It was because I had butt dialed him. Around that time, he had been messing with both me and her. She found out. Then shit got ugly. That girl used to cyber stalk me. She found out where I lived. She used to go live and talk about me and him over her FB and TikTok. It was a whole shit show. So she's saying she butt dialed him. And because of that, Kitty was on the phone. She heard. They began to fight. Now, that's what you heard in part 3. They began to fight. The car got damaged. Shots went off. She used his own gun to shoot at him. All because of a butt dial. Now, of course, the story is going to get deeper. And I'm invested. Are you? Hello, and thank you for watching episode 5, season 1 of Who the Fuck Did I Work For? Now, see, I would love to keep the storyline in order, but your faves keep getting on lives, forcing people to be uncomfortable and look at them and talking about some shit that don't even matter. So I thought to react to the live. I have to watch it here because I'm blocked.
Numbers don't lie, sir. You right. You don't know them. You don't know the numbers. You ain't did the education, Slay. You ain't did the education, Slay. You ain't did the education. You don't know the numbers. Matter of fact, I do. You ain't did the education. You guys, I love y'all, man. And honestly, I hope at some point in your life, and a lot of you guys are there.
Look at Mandy.
Some point in your life,
y'all don't know the numbers.
To the point where, excluding the people that are already there. Right?
I didn't follow her today.
When you get to the point where you're organizing a national tour, self-funded,
from money you stole,
self-promoted,
using our pixels.
You know what I'm saying?
Self. Yikes.
You'll have a better perspective.
Then give us that perspective.
There's promoters all over the country that'll listen to me talk and understand everything that I'm saying.
We understand you. We just don't believe you.
I'm not trying to go back and forth.
So let's get to one of the ways he had me messed up. He likes to show the P&L sheet. Everybody was talking about the P&L sheet. Kitty was like, I saw the P&L sheet. We've all got sent P&L sheets. They don't have any information on them, and they're doctored because guess who creates the P&L sheets? Okay. We've never gotten any information on how much the tour, the app, the clips, the YouTube, the anything have ever made. We've never gotten information on it. The only time we can piece information together is when he's bragging. I got big money. I wipe my ass with 50,000. I make $500,000 a weekend. That's the only time we can kind of say, hey, Because I remember something wasn't right with my money, though. And speaking of that, let's talk about it. So at May, you know, me and my ex been broken up for a couple weeks. Cordial, everything's fine, but I'm waiting for my paychecks and I'm like, what's going on? Because a lot of y'all were saying, well, why was he your manager? He wasn't my manager, but Ace didn't like talking to women. So JT is Randy's husband. Carlos is Kitty's. Well, they said she might not be married. That'll be on the next. I don't know if I tell you what, I'm just dizzy. Carlos, and then there was Kel, my boyfriend, but he wanted to speak to a man because he said that women don't quite get it. They don't quite get it, and it's easier to talk to the men, even if the men don't know what the fuck you're talking about. So usually we just send them off to have the conversation and then get the information conveyed, right? So they never talked about this. Not to me. That's why it was done behind my back. And apparently, after I signed the contract, he changed things up to where we had to buy our own plane tickets. We had to buy our own hotels, and there were no more rental cars. All that used to be given to us, now it was taken away. So he was like, what we can do, I guess to him, to Kel, was what we can do is make a deal to give you in advance so that you can pay for these things, and then we'll just take it from her shows in the back end. Okay, even if that was the case, even if I would have been okay with some dumb shit like that, and I absolutely wouldn't have, because why am I paying to work? Is this 12 years of slave? Even if I would have been okay with some dumb shit like that, why send it to his personal bank account? All the money has been sent to my bank account. Would it be because when I checked my bank account, I'd have been like, what's this for? So his manager writes back and says that attached is a promissory note. The promissory note isn't signed. The promissory note just basically says, I promise to pay, but it isn't signed. No one freaking signed it, not even the ex. So who promised to pay you? Every time you ask about the money, it's we're going bankrupt, we don't have it, I'm losing, I'm redlined. Every time you say, well, I'm sorry, you're having money issues, it's I'm not having money issues, I got big money. So you never quite know. That's why he was shaking and flailing. Also, I'd like to talk about the public support of my colleagues, right? The people that I've been on the pod with. I've never asked for public support. I never said, you better like this comment or say this or that. I stand alone because I can stand alone. I don't need anybody to say I left because of, or I believe her, or I had these kind of conversations. All I need people to do is when I'm lying, stop me. Contracts were changed out the blue. New changes couldn't happen so fast. They couldn't be put on the contract. It just, every single day was a mess of like, what? So yes, most of the time he did pay on time, with exceptions, as he stated. You can write the manager, complain, say this isn't right, wait, what's going on? All you're going to get is a long, drawn-out response that the same shit that he's going to tell you, but long and drawn out with big words. Now, I still haven't gone over the fact that he called me several times to get a hold of my merch, right? He wanted my merch. He wanted to take control of it. Even though I said I already had a crew, I already had my situated, I did not need help. He called me every single day until I said, okay. I had a lot going on. My address had been leaked. There's a lot of, I found out my address was leaked. I was moving. I had a lot going on. So I said, okay. And I didn't even get to the part where he wouldn't give me my merch back unless I said thank you and bought a bottle of tequila. And he put it in an email, and I thought he was joking, but little did I know he was not kidding at all. No longer see me on any of the platforms. Follow my YouTube. That means Mojo Jojo 1. So there's a rumor that Mojo Jojo is smashing everybody on the cast, and I don't know where y'all came up with that. But I do know I did say he was dibbling and dabbling for show. Yeah, I know I said that. I got something on my shirt. So this is my very first tour. I'm getting to perform. I'm seeing new fans in new cities. I love this experience, but I'm starting to get irritated, and I'm telling K-Love this. I'm starting to get irritated at Mojo Jojo and the things he would say on stage, especially like if you're in an otherwise healthy and happy marriage, and he decides to cheat on you, your husband decides to cheat on you, you shouldn't leave because otherwise, like other than that, you were happy. Well, clearly we weren't happy because I'm getting cheated on. So that's the stuff that I would say that would make him very mad. And he would only show that after we got off stage. So then I realized, okay, I'm going to have to censor myself because he's not going to let me really express. So aside from all the women that, like the fans that would sleep with Mojo Jojo, because this is when I found out that tour life means a lot of effing is going on. A lot of boot scooting boogieing. So aside from all the women that he would sleep with on tour, he would sleep with, you know, his assistants. So I met one of his assistants that let me know that he get down. Got a couple kinks as well. I'm not shaming it, but it does involve throw up. So Kit Kat ain't the only one that just loves bodily functions. Bodily fluids, I meant. I'm sorry, I'm really frazzled by a lot of all this. I don't kink shame, but I don't think it's wrong to be kink surprised. Imagine a close friend being like, I just need to be pooped on. Every day I think about it. Love it. So after every show, we like to go out and eat, celebrate. And I remember being in Dayton, Ohio, and talking to his wife and basically telling them that they had amazing husbands because I seen them do their job and go home. And they really showed me that married men can absolutely be in front of a whole bunch of women that are open and ready to pop it up, to pop it out. They can see that and say, what I got at home is more precious, and go to their hotel room and not be frazzle-dazzling in the lobby. And this is where I learned that cheating on your significant other or your spouse doesn't only hurt your significant other, but it really makes everybody around the situation feel uncomfortable. Because as I'm speaking to these ladies, his girl comes up and says, well, what about Mojo Jojo? You're saying he's faithful. What about him? So I would like to take a poll. If you knew that your boss was unfaithful and at the company Christmas party, his wife asks you, what are you going to say? Are you going to tell her the truth, or are you going to say, yeah, he's absolutely faithful. He's just like the rest of them. He's doing good. Well, if your answer was not the latter one, because mine was, I looked at her right in her face and I was like, he is faithful. Yeah, he really loves you. I didn't know what else to say. I did not want to lose my job. I was put in a very awkward situation. Me and that girlfriend weren't close then. Now we are, but we weren't close then, and I just didn't know what to do. And that's when I realized how selfish. He put me in this situation. Now, I might be wrong, but he put me in that situation. He didn't even have a type. Some wheelchair, little hand. I'm not trying to be rude. It didn't matter. It didn't matter the disability. Not to say anybody was like not able to function. I don't think he took advantage of anyone. They were able, but the disabled, they're able. You hear what I'm saying? The disabled is able. They get down. You hear what I'm saying?
Anytime it comes to these type of content creators, these relationship gurus, these commentators, these self-help commentators, any of these people who particularly make content regarding relationships, sex, that whole sector of social media, anytime you have people who make videos like this, they are typically going to turn out as frauds. Sometimes these people end up being like extreme, like absolutely completely opposite spectrum from what they teach, such as like someone like Derek Jackson, or you find out like he's preaching to men, oh, don't date these single moms, oh, don't, and then you find out that he's playing stepdaddy to 2 white kids. So there's levels to this, absolutely. But overall, generally speaking, on most occasions, when people make content about relationships, you have to understand that relationship content requires you to have an audience to make money, right? So a lot of times, and I experience this on my channel as a content creator, I have chosen not to assume a certain position within a conversation so that I can just make money, so that I can just grift. I come on camera and I give my real opinion, my real thoughts. I state the things that I truly think and really share my true life experiences. And however the comments go, they go. However the engagement goes, it goes. I'm not pandering to women. I'm not pandering to men, right? So I'm not just on here calling black men, particularly dusties and brokies and decenter men, and forget them, and oh, they're this, they're horrible. No, I'm not on here to talk about some, oh, all men are kings, and oh, black men, you should date women that only have natural hair, and that no. So I'm not, very easily I could come on here and make money playing either side, but I choose not to do that. I choose to be authentic in how I show up on this space, on any platform really. And so I'm not grifting. I'm sharing commentary based off of my real life experiences. A lot of people are absolutely here just to make money. So they're not here to actually help anyone under the sound of their voice. They're not here to guide men or women into positive, healthy, evolved relationships. They're here to pinpoint a certain way or a certain stance, see how much money they can make off of that, and then if it is lucrative, they'll continue to do it. They'll dig their heels in, they'll become known for it, or they'll move on to something else. And that's where you see people who you'll see their message is one thing, and then later on they'll be saying something completely different. It's not so much because people evolve, it's because they realize, oh, it's no money here, it's money over here, right? And so what you have to be aware of when you're listening to these content creators, it has to constantly be in the back of your mind that at the end of the day, this is content that they are looking to have be monetizable, whether it's literally through viewership on the platform, through AdSense or TikTok, whatever, or if it's to sell out speaking engagement tours like tonight's conversation was doing. They are trying to make money. So at the end of the day, once they're done doing the character they have created that gives the commentary, they are their true selves. And it's typically not the person that you see. And when you're doing relationship commentary, you have to have a certain type of angle every time when you want it to be lucrative, you want it to go viral, because that's what makes money. Showing the fact that you evolve, or that you've made poor choices, or that you realize that this wasn't true, or you used to believe that and now you believe that, actually showing your humanness, your human process of matriculating through life and relationships, that's not entertaining to people. People want to see people have the same opinion every single day, all the time, about something that they feel will confirm whatever biases they have. People are typically looking for an echo chamber. And the reason why is because echo chambers are very, very lucrative. They're easy to monetize. And so do I believe Kita and everything that she's saying? To a certain extent, I do. Because, like I said, I'm prone to believe that anyone like Ace Metaphor, those type of guys, and the fact that he does have some dealings with Derek Jackson, 100% lets me know, yeah, he probably was most likely doing these things. He probably was most likely playing with people's money and playing in people's faces. And the best thing that we could do as the audience is, like I said, keep in mind that these people are just content creators. Nothing they're saying is most likely genuine. Or if it is genuine, it's like maybe 50-60%. Also, to kind of wrap this up here, I understand that if you are a single man or woman in this society and you didn't grow up in a household where you have a bunch of married couples or somewhat healthy, majority healthy relationships that you have access to, where you can go and talk to them and bring them your questions, you come online and you're looking for people that seem to have it figured out to give you some help. That is human. That's understandable. I totally get that. But what I think is important is to have always in the back of your mind that much of this information, take with a grain of salt. You know, don't become hooked on everyone's word. Like, there's plenty of people who I watch online who I enjoy their commentary. I spend time in their live broadcasts, but I'm not hanging on to their every word, right? So I still have my own opinion. I still have my own perspective, and I'm not stuck in this place where I'm dependent on them saying certain things for me to know how to move or what to believe or what to think or what to feel. It's okay to look for that. It's okay to want guidance. It's okay to desire to have access to people who seem to have more information than you about being in a relationship. But the reality is, the moment that you become so dependent on them that you start to lose sight of the fact that possibly the things that they're saying to you may not be authentic, that's probably where you need to, back up a little bit. Other than that, I really don't have too much to say about that Ace Metaphor. Again, like Derek Jackson, like so many of these guys online that grift based off of telling women things that we want to hear, and it's not just for women. There's literally a whole space. The whole red pill space is the same thing. It's dedicated to men and women who are grifting to the male gaze in a different way. They're telling them what they want to hear. They're telling men that none of the stuff is your fault. There's no eligible women out here. They're all hoes. They're all washed. They all hitting a wall. You are a king. You're. It's the same rhetoric. It's just based off of which gender will listen. The moment you realize it's content and you stop hanging on to these people's word, then I think you'll have a healthier relationship with them altogether. But yeah, that's all I have to say on this topic. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye.